just click record here lah. Okay. Okay. All right. Just to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is being recorded. All right. I don't want to waste Dr. Tora time. I understand Dr. Tora time. He has another appointment. He has another appointment somewhere. All right. So let me introduce a bit about Dr. Tora Farudin. All right. So our speaker today will be Dr. Tora Farudin. He's the Vice Dean for Academic Affairs and Research Support. Okay. He's from School of Applied Sciences, Telkom University. Okay. I find out that Dr. Tora Farudin also do a lot of research. Not only, although his topic is on seamless payment, the future of digital transaction in Asia. I find out that Dr. Tora also has some research in the area of database, and then he also something on analytics and so on. Okay, so we have someone who is a well expert, all right, in his area. But interestingly, he decided to talk about seamless payments today, right? He decided to talk about seamless payments. So without further delay, once again, we want to welcome all the students from TELU, okay, and also from ICATS UC. So now I'm going to
Halo,
pass the
Dokter.
question to Dr. Tora. Okay, so I'm going to stop my sharing now. Okay, I think I already stopped my sharing. So Dr. Tora, I pass the session to you and I'm going to unpin myself. All right, so I pass the session to Dr. Tora.
Okay, Dr. Tai Chung Ang, thank you very much. And hello, everybody. Nice to meet all of you today. I want to share something, yeah. Okay. Is my screen is appear on your screen?
Yes, Dr. Tora is very clear.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Doctor. And I'm very interesting today, yeah. Thank you for the time. So we can create some program with this iCats, yeah. I think it is from the first session or third session, yeah. Third session, yeah, Dr. Tai Chung Wang, yeah. Because it has been start from yesterday, yeah, in the poster, yeah, Doctor, yeah.
Yes, Dr. Tora, I think your session today is the second
Oh, second,
second
yeah.
day.
Oh, second, yes.
This is the second day.
Okay,
Today is the first day launching. So Dr.
okay.
Tora, your session
Hmm.
is the second day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, second, yeah, second. And then tomorrow will be presented by Dr. Emily, yeah, Emily Xiu Xing Kiang, and the last day, this is our lecturer, yeah, Dr. Siti Zakiah from the hospitality, yeah, maybe hospitality study program, yeah. Okay, thank you, Doctor, for the time. And hello, everybody. My name is Tora Farudin, and actually, I'm lecturer now from the Accounting Information System Study Program. Uh, but in the poster, that's the I think it's need to be updated, Dr. Tai, because I'm not the vice dean anymore. The vice dean in School of Applied Science now is Dr. Wardani Muhammad. Yeah, I became director academic, yeah, academic director of Telkom University. But I think no, it's uh, has been uh, start from April, yeah, April. Okay, uh, I'm going to talk about this topic, seamless payment. I think this is the future of digital transaction in Asia. But maybe people ask, how can it be gitu ya? How can it be that the seamless payment is become the future of the our financial, yeah, in the next year. Okay, maybe in this slide we will see that yes, we are coming into the digital transaction. Yeah. A lot of the transaction has been done by using cashless. Yeah, no, maybe a little transaction is still in the cash. Yeah, but actually the very big transaction is conducted in the seamless payment. This a good start. Yeah, that we are facing the technology disruption of technology of the fintech technology, blockchain, and also AI, and etc. It is today, yeah, today. Okay. I start from this stage of accounting, yeah, digitalization. I forget maybe the last week it has been presented by Pak Boeing, yeah, in uh, our seminar, yeah, in Telkom University, that really uh, from the systematic literature review that has been read by Parkman, Rippenbauer, and Flick-Holtz, yeah, 2023, that he divided the digitalization, especially in accounting, into three stages. The first one is staff substitution, and the second one is process change, and the third one is the innovation. Uh, there are many companies that provide the solution for the innovation. I think it is in the bookkeeper. It's one of this example. Yeah, SMACC, ACE, Shiro, and QuickBook. Yeah, they're the another example. For the first layer, uh, it is uh, it has objective to replace that the manual into digital. So the objective is to create the digital paperless bookkeeping by using what? By using, I think this a uh, very kind of technology such as the OCR, yeah, optical character recognition, who can read and extract the text from the picture, from the image, and it can extract text, and then we can process that data after that, yeah. And then RPA, yeah, robot processing automation, that's can substitute, yeah, many manual tasks that daily has been done by people. It can be replaced automatically by RPA, and then some technology, that's all technology like a smart card and barcode, yeah, that people don't need to entry it with his finger, but only maybe tap, and then it is processed automatically. In the stage two, uh, it's the partially automated. I think it's maybe a little different with the first stage. In the first stage, it's might be the input and the output is still the same. If we see in the original paper, ya. Nah, this is, ya, and maybe, ya. Now this is substitution, process, and innovation. I forget this is the okay. No problem. Yeah, I will explain in this. In the substitution, yeah, process input and process is also the same, but we have only create the change from the digital paper, sorry, from the manual into digital. From the second stage, it's a partially automated bookkeeping. So a half of the process, the all of the process is conducted by a manual, and then a half of the rest is conducted by a partial automated system. And then in the last stage, that is the innovation, it is full autonomous from the input until the output is autonomous. And I think it is we have in the third stage, yeah, actually. Yes. We have some framework such workflow, yeah, maybe the student from the Telkom University or ICATS, I think you need to know about the AI agent, yeah, uh, and XN agent. It is workflow, yeah, workflow automation that it is very easy, very low code. We don't need to understand and code the very complex algorithm or very complex command. It is very simple, but uh, it has a lot of uh, integration, yeah, integration tool that can integrate with the other system, yeah, such as Telegram, such as WhatsApp, database, and so on. It is very simple. We just create a workflow from one node to another node, and then we just setting the parameter, and the data is a flow, yeah, flow from the start, the the beginning until the end that we want to do. This is very I think it's very good tools. Yeah, they are integrated with many platform, Postgre, LLM, AI, and etc. Yeah, the Google Sheet, uh, and then the Google Drive, and so on. So it is we have in this third stage area. Okay. And how about in Indonesia? In Indonesia, it is from the our government, yeah, especially in the Central Bank of Indonesia, that it is the digital system and finance ecosystem uh, in 2025. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forget that if the student and have a question, don't hesitate to raise your hand, yeah, or chat Dr. Uh, Tai Chung Ang, yeah, and we can discuss, yeah, because it is I think uh, it is a good if the student can ask directly, not no need to wait until my presentation is end. Okay, actually, uh, this ecosystem has been built in Indonesia. Yeah, there are two sector, uh, financial sector. It is for the bank, yeah, and then ministry, regulator, and then fintech company, and the real sector that is it is in the community, farmer, and then the traditional market, transportation, MSME, tourism. It is in the real sector, but they're actually interconnected between the real sector and financial sector. We have a lot of, I think, platform such as the BIFAS, QDIS, yes, Open API, IPT, BIRTGS, Data Hub, Payment ID, Sandbox, and etc. Electronification, yeah, electro for the notification, electronic for notification, yeah. I think it is a good ecosystem, yeah, that like in this paragraph that it can open the access for 83.1 million unbanked people, a lot of unbanked people, and 62.9 million MSME to formal economic, yeah, and finance, sustainable manner through digitalization. So it's a very chance to be uh, to be enhanced, yeah, to be enhanced. This platform has been established, okay, and but maybe still need to be connected, and yeah, we have to analyze the data. Okay. Next, this is for the configuration of Indonesian digital economy. The position of QRIS as one of our, oh yeah, what is QRIS? Okay, QRIS, like mentioned from the central bank in Indonesia, is stand for Quick Response Code Indonesian Standard. Or we name it QRIS or QRIS in Indonesian. What it is? This is the standard that been created by government to be implemented in all the digital payment merchant, yeah, that has been established before. So it is standard and uh, integrated with all the platform, all payment gateway platform. So uh, what kind of platform is also connected into the QRIS platform. It is very easy, yeah. It is very easy. It is a very big project and very successful project until now in history in Indonesia. And I already read that uh, this QRIS is has been implemented in six largest ASEAN countries. Indonesia, not only Indonesia, but also in Malaysia, Philippines, yeah, Singapore, and Vietnam. And it's reached one seems to 1 trillion in 2023 and still grow up 1.1 trillion in 2025 and still grow up until now. So curiosity is the standard to connect it between the sector, financial sector to economic sector. That is the real sector in Indonesia. Yeah, that come from society and the digital economy. Okay, this is the retail payment system configuration. Yeah, that's actually very complicated. Yeah, in the background, but I think the student only need to know that uh, they are ecosystem infrastructure and the hub between the front end, yeah, until the back end is has been established. Yeah, there are consumer that there are a lot of the banking services, yeah, like transfer, credit transfer, debit transfer, and etc. And it has been integrated also to wallet, digital payment, and QRIS, and it has been integrated in every merchant, every terminal in all in Indonesia merchant, as it has been connected. And Indonesia also has the payment aggregator, which connected by API to the backend. This is the core, actually core of banking system. Yeah, PIFS in the right side, yeah, right side of our screen. So, uh, the main definition of the digital payment. What is digital payment? Actually, digital payment is replace the manual payment, yeah, and the old payment, uh, cash payment, yeah, some like that, lah, yeah. It has been replaced by cashless payment, yeah, which actually use a digital technology. So the name is digital payment. Cashless transaction, cashless payment that use the digital technology for the execution. Why? Why? It is very popular now. Actually, from this slide, we know that it is significantly, yeah, there are many changing, yeah, many changing from the manual to digital is because actually the penetration of the smartphone in the world is getting very very apa ya, weight, uh, very large ya, the use of smartphone. I think even in the one family, one person maybe have one smartphone ya, dokter ya. If the family has two children, maybe uh, the children is have a smartphone for the uh, itself ya. So actually minimal one family has one smartphone ya. Because from the fixed phone is, I think it is not popular anymore ya. So regarding we have the fixed phone, maybe we we have to buy a smartphone. Okay, the smartphone is very large, yeah, the distribution of smart. And then the second one is from the COVID-19 pandemic, yeah. COVID-19 pandemic, uh, it caused the limitation of our uh, our activity, yeah. We we can do uh, uh, apa ya, uh, buying directly, but only using the application and etc. Yeah. That is uh, forced that the digital payment uh, is used by person now. Okay, uh, it is speed, yeah, and convenience, yeah. Uh, if we are uh, getting transaction using cash, yeah, maybe the seller uh, is have a problem if our money is 100,000 maybe, and we just buy a candle or coklat. Wah, that's the seller uh, need to think very hard how to give the change, how to give the change. But if we use the curious, uh, seller did not to uh, think anymore because he need he not need to uh, prepare the change. Besides that, it's speed, yeah, because the transaction is directly transfer into his account. And then from the security, I think it is more secure than manual. Yeah, if we are cash, maybe our money is gone and etc. Yeah. But if we are using the wallet or the QRIS, it is secure because for to access that data, to access the transaction, we need to input the pin. Yeah, the input the pin first. Okay, and the last is financial inclusion. Maybe it is chance to uh, bring the unbanked population into the formal economy. So after the unbanked population, there are a lot, yeah. Maybe in the previous slide, it is up to 83 million, yeah, people that unbanked. If they are using digital payment, I think uh, it is more chance for the government to analyze the data and get uh, the whole of the transaction behavior of Indonesian transaction in the real time. Because yeah, the system is standard, all the money has been recorded. I think that's okay. Oh, Dr. Tai Chung Ang asked some question, yeah. Tell the student integrate QRIS in FEP system. Okay, that individual. So there might be limited for our student to embed the QRIS payment. Okay. In our Telkom University ya, dokter ya, for student payment ya.
Yes, Dr. Tora. I'm just wondering, I find
Okay.
what the Chris is interesting. So let's say the TELU student, they're doing final year project. Let's say they have a website and they want to show digital payment. Do they actually integrate let's say, can you actually integrate with Chris? Can it be done, or it's only for if you are valid merchant, you are really doing business, then you can implement Chris. If for
Oh,
final year project, can you do that? Yeah.
okay, Doc. Actually, we have not yet, yeah, not yet implemented by using QRIS. Yeah, we are still using the maybe transfer, yeah, transfer from the student. But uh, I forget next this year or next year the finance directorate maybe want to implement that system, doctor. They want to implement the integrated financial system, maybe using all all merchant and all the payment gateway system, yeah, including QRIS in that that method of payment. But not no. In this semester, the student still use the transfer method, I think.
Dr. Tora, I just want to
Hmm?
understand. So meaning right now it cannot be implemented, right?
Yeah.
Right
Yes.
now cannot. Yeah. Okay. So the implementation you said may happen next year. So if let's say uh oh okay, let me read the comment here. We can
Oh yeah.
using
Bisa ya.
there is a tax number administration that must be completed before production. I
Ya,
see.
betul.
Okay.
Yes, that's right,
Okay. So
doctor.
this.
Uh, if we want to get the one QRIS, actually there are the two type of QRIS, doc. Uh, okay, maybe. Hmm,
Yeah,
maybe.
Dr. Tora, that's impressive because in Malaysia right now, the QR is attached to a particular bank, and the bank will issue their own QR, so they're tied to the bank. So our student will find it difficult to implement a payment gateway because they need to have either a merchant account, to do it. So it's kind of difficult. Yeah, but Chris is from the
Oh, okay.
Central Bank Indonesia, correct?
Yeah, Indonesia. Yes,
Yeah.
it has standard and actually uh, from all the bank, it has apa ya, menu ya. It has menu. It has feature to pay using the QRIS, doctor.
Oh,
I can show you about maybe in Livin ya, in Livin. This is the example of the how QRIS is implemented in Livin Mandiri. Ya.
okay, sure, Dr. Thank you.
Nah, this is doctor. Maybe if you want to see how it's look like. Nah, uh, the merchant need to register his company, yeah, his company and his business uh, to get the QRIS ID. Yeah. This is some example. Yeah. No need to go to the public company, but in the small medium enterprise, I think it's okay, yeah, to register to get the register, and then we just open uh, our bank application, yeah, this is one of the bank application from Diri. We can just capture the QR code, and this is from the static, yeah. This is from the static that has been implemented in a very small business, like maybe like this. Yeah. Sample sample ayam for the chicken, that is for the very small business in front of our campus. It's status job. It is status, and we need
Udah
to
makan?
write the the nominal first.
Hah?
This is the example that he needs to input the manual, the nominal to payment, the nominal of payment. Let's say we pay bakso, yeah, we pay bakso, and it's price about maybe 10,000. We need to input 10,000, yeah, or this 5,000, yeah, 5,000, and then we finish it. Okay, and verify that the identifier, the name of the business is same with the QR code, yeah, and then we need to input the PIN, and yes, that's just like that, doctor. So the student actually no need to register by himself, but the registration is only need for the business, for the owner of the business. It's has been implemented in all the uh, all the bank, ya, on the application of bank, mobile banking Indonesia. Dok. Yeah, actually in the uh, there are some cases, yeah, some cases that uh, fake fake QRIS code, fake QRIS code that the people that don't, ya, orang-orang yang tidak bertanggung jawab, ya, dok, ya, they make the QRIS by himself, and then uh, he put, ya, in the mosque, ya, QRIS apa ya, hmm, apa ya, ya, nah, yeah, this is still a case, yeah. He changed the QRIS, his QRIS, yeah, his QRIS into the mosque, and the the people who don't know that that is not from the mosque, he the donation to that QRIS, gitu ya. Yeah, but it is under arrest now, I think, ya. So this is the the weakness of QRIS, ya, because anyone can register it, but verifikasi is still low, ya. Okay. Nah, the other option is using dynamic QRIS. Dynamic QRIS is the QRIS that implemented in might be in the medium until the large company, ya. Indomaret, ya, maybe this is I give the example of how we can pay the invoice in Indomaret, ya. So the Indomaret can input the tagihan, ya, the tagihan, and we just scan it and pay it, ya. Oh, he didn't show the mechanism. Yeah. With this. Yeah, just like this. This is habit. Yeah. So all the Indonesian people is no need to bring a lot of money in her pocket. Yeah, his pocket anymore, doctor. Okay, I want to continue my presentation, ya, Dok. Nah, this is the statis and the for dynamic. I think we need to just to implement it. I want to show about the implementation of these queries. Yeah, the one is using Mitrans. Yeah, Mitran is one of the payment gateway provider in Indonesia. Yeah. Okay, this is the for the demo. Yeah, demo from Mitran. We want to buy something, and then we want to buy the two pillow. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we want to buy the one pillow, yeah, and we want to check out. And we can choose a lot of different methods for pay those invoice. Yeah, I want to use maybe by QRIS. Yeah, QRIS, and I want to simulate that we already pay it. Yeah, this is the example that we want to pay it. It is a simulation for the demo, and it has been paid. And after this, we can check the status. Nah, this payment is successful. So it has been implemented in all Indonesian transaction, yeah, for the small business for using the static queries, yeah. For the medium and large business, it can use the uh, dynamic queries. Okay, thank you. So for in the example, there is queries in a e-commerce web, then the customer pay through third-party banking. Yes, Christopher Hansen. Just like that, yeah. We have the queries is embedded in all of the digital payment now. Yeah, we are using the from bank, yeah, Livin, from PNI, Wonder, and then PSI, Beyond. It has been there. And also in the payment gateway, just I present before this, yeah, by using Mitran, it has been integrated there. Oh, in Malaysia, still using static, yeah, static queries, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Dr. Tora, just now
Okay.
in
Yep.
the chat there, someone mentioned the QR can be generated for each transaction or for each store. Customer will input the nominal themselves. Let's say I want to charge the customer certain amount. It can generate a dynamic QR for that. That one no problem. It's just
Yeah.
that the demonstration you showed just now how to register the merchant. I thought that's very easy because in Malaysia, if you want to have a
Yeah.
merchant QR
Mm-hmm.
registration, must go through the
Mm-hmm.
bank. Okay, I think we go
Oh,
through,
okay. Okay.
we must
Mm-hmm.
register with the bank or we use the third
Yeah.
party payment gateway like iPay, 88. So far that's their system lah. But just
Yeah.
now you show in the YouTube video, wow, so easy. That's why I commented so easy just now. Yeah.
Yes. I think it's need for the Malaysia to getting in, yeah. Adopt the technology, yeah, doctor, yeah. It's still in the earlier process, yeah, in the earlier stage of the implementation in Malaysia, yeah, maybe, yeah.
I think I suspect Dr. Tora is the legal
Mm,
requirement, it's the legal
yeah, legal,
policies. Yeah.
mm, yeah, okay. So, yeah, maybe Malaysia need to learn from the Indonesia implementation. That actually we have some problem, yeah. Just I shared before, the people who done responsible, it replace the original queries with self self with his self queries. So the money is not uh, apa enter in the original reckoning original account to but in the fake account. Okay, okay, Doc. Can I continue my presentation, or
Yeah,
there
sure,
still
sure, Dr.
anyone?
Tora. Sure.
Okay, okay, Doc. Thank you. So it is the bridge, yeah, that we need uh the payment gateway bridge, yeah, to bridging those infrastructure, bank transfer, they are a merchant, they are a lot of provider of payment gateway, and then credit card provider, e-wallet provider, Dana, uh, Shopee Pay, ya, OVO, ya, there are a lot of wallet and it need to be bridging, ya, bridging to uh, to solve this queries, ya. Okay, this Midstand and Sendit, yeah. For Sendit, maybe like this. Uh, this platform for the demo for the Sendis platform. Actually, we want to pay, yeah, pay Honey Badger Plasi 200,000, yeah, rupiah and send it mat, and we just to start the demo some uh, equal to the midterms, yeah, we need to choose where platform we want to pay using or QR or Mandiri or bank transfer. If we want to use the bank transfer, it create the VA, yeah, virtual account, and this VA is actually created in the bank, and we can pay by using the Livin, Mandiri, the mobile banking, or by transfer directly into the ATM machine. Yeah, I think just like that. For the demo, we can just click here to simulate that we are already paid. After that, thank you. The order has been paid. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Okay. That's this platform is actually we are using doctor in our study program. Maybe in RPL also, yeah. Mbak Riza, ya. In RPLA maybe use Mitran also.
Yes,
Dr.
sometimes
Tora,
we use the payment.
Midtrans and Sandy is
Yeah.
Indonesia's own payment gateway, is it?
I think, yeah, Doc. I'm
Midtrans
forget.
and
Mitran is, yes, Indonesian platform, ya, payment
OC
gateway
payment
from
gateway.
Indonesia.
All right. Okay, so just to confirm that. Okay. Yeah, continue, Dr. Tora,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, Doc. So why we are using Mitran? Because Mitran has sandbox, Doc. Recent Mitran has provide the API, yeah, to we that we are student don't need to register our company, kan, Doc. We don't need register our company. We are just uh, want to simulate how the payment and how the uh, our website can recognize this payment and etc. Yeah, we don't need to register a real the number of company. Yeah, so Mitran can provide it. Yeah, Mitran has the simulation tools, simulation API, and then simulation the platform to buy it. Yeah. So it is very simple for the student to create the code. Yeah, because they provide the API for the developer. Nah, it is for the developer, and it's complete. Yeah, the documentation I think is very complete. This is from the API. We use the Snap UI just like this. Yeah, this is the Snap UI. It is the standard UI from Mitrans, and yeah, it is very simple low-code. Okay. Okay. Nah, this is across Asia. I think it is our successful that in Indonesia that need to be implemented in another country, yeah, especially in ASEAN. So we have uh, the digital payment mechanism, yeah, not only depend on the Visa or Mastercard anymore, dokter, gitu ya. This is our Indonesia, our kedaulatan ya, daulatannya Indonesia. Okay, there's still a lot of potential in the Asia from the market projection. It's still can be increased to 10 trillion dollars ya by 2030. For the smartphone penetration, it can still penetration and increase the penetration ya up to 80%. And yeah, that's I think the financial inclusion can be raised also ya. Okay, so why the student need to know about this seamless? Because in the maybe 2 years or 3 years after this year, it is massive. Yeah, a lot of countries has implement this seamless payment because it is successful in Indonesia. Yeah, the government can actually can manage the transaction of the Indonesia. The government can get the insight, yeah, how many percent that increases of in the Indonesian economy in the real time, uh, how the behavior of the the Indonesian people uh, is uh, is right or not right now. Because actually the economy is getting hard, yeah, getting hard. Uh, so by using the queries, yeah, all the data transaction is can be collect and analyzed, and the government can make the policy as soon as possible, gitu ya, in the right data, yeah, the right data. But if the we don't have the digital payment, we don't have curious, I think the government is still difficult to get uh, the economic to calculate how the economic in Indonesia is still okay or not, because they need to yeah, survey to the community and so on. But if the all of Indonesian using the QRIS, I think it can be query real time. Yeah, the insight of the data can be uh, get in maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, uh, not long. Yeah, not long. Okay, I have some apa ya, the paper that is very interesting paper. Sorry, web ya, web. Uh, nah, the speculative of the future fintech ya. Mana ya tadi? So what is the future after the apa? All the transaction is digitalized, yeah, and recorded by the system. So what else after now? Yeah. The the answer is yes. We can enhance the prediction system, yeah, for the seller. They can know uh, how many I have to sell next month, yeah. Uh, uh, for buyer, they can also see what is the behavior or her transaction, and he can arrange the spending to saving for the government. They can manage the transaction, and they can manage the demand of the product, and to predict the price, to predict the how many uh, the needs of people. Yeah, I think just like that, because we have the data, we have the history data, gitu ya. Mana tadi ya? To predict ya, to predict tadi mana ya? Uh, ah, it's missing, it's missing now. Okay, I think that's the opportunity after the next after in AI era. We can analyze in a lot of uh, tasks, yeah, for prediction, for clustering, and then for making analyze the sentiment, yeah, sentiment about something, and respond to the community, yeah, after the in some case, yeah, uh, government create the some policy, and then after that the government can directly know how market respond those policy by using analyze this data, the transaction data in the QRIS. I think that's it's very uh, apa ya, very main thing that government has it. Okay. Okay, Doc, this is the conclusion, yeah, before the end of the today. Curious, I think it is the project that very success, yeah. If you want to know, yeah, Mr. Trump, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Trump. Uh, After we implement the QRIS, the visa transaction visa is getting very deeper, ya, very apa ya, low ya, very low. uh, Efek this is QRIS ke visa Mastercard. So Trump want that no. Indonesia need to use visa. Indonesia cannot use QRIS anymore. No. This QRIS is it's our nation. So
Okay.
it is from the America that it has a big effect. Though. It says the transaction using Visa is getting lower and lower because we have QRIS. Yeah.
I see. Okay. That's interesting, Dr. Tora.
Ya. Nah, QRIS ganggu bisnis Visa ya. And
I
Mastercard in
see.
Indonesia. This I think in April ya,
Oh,
April 2000. There
okay.
until Trump. Actually, in this era, we need to make some strategy that not fully dependent on the America's product because their policy is very very very
Yeah,
disrupt
the
our
Torah that
country.
yeah, this is very interesting that the Torah that it actually affected the Mastercard in Indonesia. I find this very interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by it. Meaning Chris is very successful then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dr.
yes,
Torah,
yes,
I don't
there
mind.
is
If you don't
this
mind,
is the true phenomenon.
yeah. I just have one question, Dr. Tora. Okay, I don't know whether
Okay.
does it happen like this? Like in Indonesia, the merchant can register the Kris easily. So when they display the QR for payment, so that QR for payment belongs to the merchant and not personal, correct?
Yes, doc. I think the registration for the new QR code, yeah, it is very easy in Indonesia. Yeah, no need to uh, apa ya, verify a lot of document. Yeah, but
Correct.
I
Because in
actually I myself is I don't have the QRIS code, but Alif maybe or Mbak Rita. Oh ini ya, register via bank ya, KTP. Any experience that the student have the QRIS code, QR code? I don't have.
okay. Because Dr. Tora, I asked that question because in some situation here, I noticed it's like this. The merchants, right? Instead of using
Yeah.
their business QR, they use personal QR. So they display their own personal QR to collect payment, not the business QR.
Yeah.
That I noticed
Betul.
it's like they're not
Betul.
supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. But some of the shops, instead of displaying the business or merchant QR, they put the personal QR instead. In fact, some of the I cannot name names. Some of the coffee shop when you want to pay, to use the QR, then the waiter will open his own phone and then it display the boss QR. So it's a personal QR, not the merchant QR, which I think
Oh,
not supposed to be
okay.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
This is
Yeah, betul,
some
Kak.
thing I
Not
noticed
supposed to do like
happening
that.
in
Yes.
Indonesia. Does it happen like that? I'm just curious. Yeah.
Uh, Actually, the apa ya? Indonesia people I think is more realize that there are some people who outside uh, 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 who has the apa ya, orang-orang tidak bertanggung jawab lah dok ya, gitu ya, nggak bikin memalsukan. So usually we 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 before we paying, before we paying the the item ya, we confirm first to the seller. It is true, it is correct gitu ya. Usually we check the name of the QRIS, the identifier of the QRIS, and show it to the seller. It is correct gitu ya. If uh, the seller is say, oh that's correct, we continue our payment. But if the seller say, oh no, that's fake QR code. Oh, our QR code is being replaced by somebody in outside. Uh, tapi for the medium enterprise, the 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 mechanism is formal ya, formal. I may show something interest in warung stick ya, warung stick. It is on the table ya, on the table. Curious, we can just uh, apa ya, book the item from the table ya, and then until we pay it, mana ya ini contohnya ya. Uh, and we don't need to apa ya mengantri ya. We don't need to mengantri anymore. anymore. We just wait in our table and the menu is come by itself gitu ya. So I think Indonesian as apa ya the people is realize that they are need to verify first and then after it is okay they uh, go to continue their payment. Nah, this is the Pindai, QRIS, and then the nominal and PIN ya. Oh ini masih yang lama ini. No, I mean the table is apa ya? Their stempel that's already in the table. In each table, their stempel and then QR code has been put there. Gitu ya. But the QR code, if we are using QR, it is connected into their platform. I think that's the answer, Dr. Tai. Hopefully, it can open mind how about QRIS and how QRIS until now become the one of the successful of Indonesian implementation, yeah, and how it can be implement also in other countries, yeah, especially in the ASEAN, from Singapore and so on.
Dr. Tora, I think I also need to qualify my statements. Whatever I said just now is based on my limited experience lah. So just in case I misrepresent the do it now lah, but I just whatever I said just now is based on my own experience lah, on the do it now limitations.
Yeah.
But the impression I have as of now is that Chris is more flexible. You can register merchant easily, then make it attractive. Just now the warung integration dengan warung tadi, I think is also very easy. Okay, so far I don't really see that one. The like the one you mentioned for the warung here in Kuching, I haven't seen it yet lah. Because what happened is I haven't seen it yet lah. Okay. I think Dr. Tora connection a bit weak, is it?
I cannot hear him.
Yeah, I think. All right. I think Dr. Tora's connection may be a bit not stable. So meanwhile, if anyone have any questions, we can post in the chat. It's already 10 o'clock Malaysian time.
Is he muted on his side?
Dr. Tora, are you muted? But I saw the screen freeze on my side.
Mine moving, but no sound, no sound.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Tora. Yeah.
I have the last video that it can might be one of the solution that many case the buyer using the fake application for QRIS. So the money actually didn't enter his seller reckoning ya, but in his he didn't make the transaction, but he said to the seller that he already he already find the QRIS, but actually this is the fake. So some solution is using the sound probe. So the sound probe is read the reckoning. Yeah, if there are a transaction from QRIS coming, they spell the transaction. They spell the transaction. Might be something like this. Yeah.
Yes. Continue, Dr. Yes, Dr. Tora, just continue.
The voice is,
Yeah.
you can get the voice or not?
Yes. Just continue, Dr.
Tetap.
Just continue, Dr.
Atau Mbak